Question number 2 says, which of the following is a factor of that polynomial expression? This is testing your ability to factor. In particular, it's testing your ability to factor by grouping. One of the clues is factoring by grouping is that you have 4 terms here and none of them are like terms. So typically you can group your first 2 and group your second 2 and factor each of those independently. And you can see that the factor by grouping will get you some valued factorization patterns. So I'm going to take this first one, and we can take a 6x squared and 8x, and we can factor out a 2x. If we factor out a 2x, then we're left with a 3x plus 4. And the second one, I'm going to factor out, since each of these are negative, I'm going to factor out a negative, and 4 goes into 12 and 16. It's a greatest common factor, and we can also factor out a y squared. If we factor out a negative, it's going to become a positive 3x, and then another positive 4. So we're not done. We're still got some factoring by grouping to do. That's what grouping is. Typically, factoring by grouping, once you get done, there'll be some common factors you can factor out of your first factorization, such as our 3x plus 4. So 3x plus 4 can factor out of each of these, and once we factor out a 3x plus 4 out of this one, we're left with a 2x, and once we factor it out of this one, we're left with a negative 4y squared. Right? The only problem that we have on this one is we got this common factor of 2 sitting in our second factorization, so we're going to take the 2 out as well. So 3x plus 4, leave the first one alone, and factoring out the 2, we're left with then x minus 2y squared. And in the context of this question, they said find the factor that is one of the factors that's in that factorization, and I believe it's this one that they have a solution to, x squared, or x minus 2y squared, or a. So factoring by grouping, not one of those types of grouping or factoring procedures strategies that we do, but definitely something that we can do if we see a few examples of it, and kind of gets our feet wet and we can understand how to do that.